Welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! What is it that you always do, Jables, just to warm up before the show? You have a saying.
What? The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Yeah, is that Anchorman?
That's Anchorman.
Yeah,
I don't have
I hear
one.
you over there before we start. Yeah. You go through a lot.
Yeah, I say, fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, to me or
No.
to yourself?
No. Yeah. To me, to the out into the universe. Don't fuck with me.
Right.
You fucker.
Yeah, you do a lot of warm-ups,
I say
a lot of vocal warm-ups before the show.
No.
No. Yeah.
I
You go through the whole rape.
My
what
rape
is it?
training.
Rape training, yeah. That is only akin to the vocal warm-ups of the Eagles. You know I love that Eagles documentary.
Yeah, what's the vocal warm-up?
Boy, they go through a whole...
Oh, well, their harmonies are on
the best
point.
harmonies in the biz.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Glenn Fry. But I would say the Jablers is number 2.
Vocal warm-up.
Number 2 on vocal warm-ups behind the... Yeah. Your rape training, though, really brings it home.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Best rape trainer in the biz is what they...
Like, if you heard that, no.
Yeah. You know.
Like that forceful.
Yeah.
No. Wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh.
Sure. If I was creeping up on a lady and she started with that monotone no that.
You break the hold because they're always going to come from behind and grab you like this.
Really?
Always. In rape training, that's what I learned.
Okay.
So they're never going to come from in front of you. They're never going to have a weapon, thankfully.
Okay.
Rapist. They always just come from behind and grab you.
Right.
Loose but firm.
Right.
And you just open your arms and you say no.
And you break on free.
Boom, done.
Okay.
And I think there's an elbow to the stomach or the groin kick. Lots of stuff to the groin.
Right.
Lots of punching and kicking to the
You're
groin.
hoping to get rid of their boners. I find it odd that they would that rapists don't come at you face on.
I know.
The reason why, because don't you want to know who you're about to rape? Don't you want to know how hot the person is?
Right.
To say, oh, hey, I definitely want to rape that person.
Yeah.
Because from behind, it could be anybody. You catch Caitlyn Jenner on the right day.
Yeah.
You could be in for a super surprise when you turn her around. When you're like, whoa, that's not the person I really wanted to rape today.
Like I said, the class that I took, that does not happen.
Was it online?
Yeah, it was a Skype course.
It was, I believe it was 6 CDs that came in the mail, right? And then you put them into, into an old.
I got them from the thrift store.
Yeah, and it was, but they were floppy disk, I think. I think of floppy disk.
Yeah, I had to then find
a computer from 1988 and then put them in. Yeah, because I remember, but that was a nice thing.
The rapists are always going to be wearing lots of foam.
Yeah, and it was, I believe the woman being raped was Meredith Baxter Birney from Family Ties, the mom from Family Ties.
Was it?
In that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're out there at home and you're like, hey, I need a great rape training video, Google search Meredith Baxter Birney from Family Ties, the mom from Family Ties, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it should pop right up for you.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not in a rape training video.
No,
she seems like somebody
not.
who would be in it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or like Gabrielle Carteris, the older broad from the original 90210.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, yeah, all right, cool. She's trying to regain her life back. She's at a yoga studio, that type of thing, like on a Lifetime thing.
Isn't Carteris super
She's the president of SAG.
Yeah.
She's the president of the Screen Actors Guild.
That's a fun fact, I think. That
is a fun fact.
No.
That is one. It
You're
was.
Andrea. Andrea fucking killed it.
Yeah. It used to be the little girl from Little House on the Prairie. Who's this president of SAG.
Oh, so I see a theme here.
Melissa.
I see a theme with the SAG presidents.
Yeah, where it's like
I know who she is.
I'll run for a SAG office.
I know who
Why
she
not?
Is. I know who she is.
They have a crazy expense account. That's why, by the way. Their expenses, because they got hammered. I think the last guy resigned. They got hammered for their expenses because it was just like $400,000 per piece. Yeah, dinners, flights, travel. You know, because you've got to say you're going to set to visit these people and all of this shit. And
meanwhile, our residual checks are like
43 cents. Yeah. I did get I get a really nice residual check from House of the Dead 2 on Friday for $3.52.
And we went out. We
went
out.
Celebration, bitches. That movie was, I don't know, 10 years old. Worst film of all time. Did get paid handsomely for the movie at the time. But therefore, you know, look, a little 352 shows up and you're like, bing, bing. I cashed it too.
352 you didn't have before.
I cashed it.
You have to cash it.
I cashed it. And I'll tell you why. There's still something deep down inside of you that remembers when you were a struggling actor and you're like, man, that 352, that's 3 items off the 99-cent menu at McDonald's.
What do you call it? Mailbox bingo?
Yeah, I call it mailbox bingo. Because every time it shows up, you're like, oh, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
But you don't know. It could be a lot, could be a little. Usually now it's a little. With
really
the digital world,
yeah.
it's a little now. It's a little now. Well, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution. We got caught up in our own shit.
Yeah, we got
caught up in the classic game of rate training.
Yeah.
That's
by Mattel.
By Mattel. I remember the Barbies with the rape whistles on them. Big fan.
That's not a thing.
Big fan. No, it should be though. It should be. It's a nice little thing Mattel could do for the community.
That would be great.
You know, Meredith Baxter Burney. Just a nice little Meredith Baxter Burney doll with a rape whistle on it. No. And you pull the string. No. Yeah. Instead, Ken's all wrapped up in complete foam.
Mm-hmm. Big like foam head. You
yeah.
can't see. It's very creepy.
He can hardly move his little arms and legs.
Very creepy. Yeah.
Welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution, kids. We get an odd show today. And I'll tell you why. There was a story over the weekend that broke about Aaron Hernandez, and I know we had talked about it last week, but this is
a good one.
This one actually blew my mind. And if this happens and comes out, if you will, for lack of a better word or pun intended, this would be a game changer. And not really a lot of people are talking about it because it got released on Friday. We're going to get to the sponsors first, and then I'll get to the story because it's this Aaron Hernandez thing takes so many twists and turns. It's shocking.
You say a lot. You use the term like this is going to blow your mind a lot with me. Let me tell you this. And then it's like some sports story. But when you said this, you said it's going to blow your mind. I was like, okay. And it fucking did.
It actually did. Did.
It did. I'm sure everyone maybe knows about it, maybe not, but I would love to be the people to
I know
tell
that really break this.
It's like gossip. I'm like, want to be the one to tell you the story.
Well, look, we got some sponsors. First up, we got straightrazors.com. Again, I cannot stress how much of a fan I am of straightrazors.com. It's the finest shaving kits on the planet. They've got the #1 ranked aftershave. And by the way, it's called Smolder. I use it literally every single day. It's the greatest goddamn thing on the earth. They've got everything you would need for man grooming and manscaping. Their straight razors are amazing. Finest shave you'll ever have in your life. They've got shampoos. They've got conditioners. They've got beard oils. You name it. And their cologne is the fucking jam. Look, if you support the show and you love the show, go support straightrazors.com. They're a big help in putting this whole thing on every week. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION. You get 20% off. Finest shaving kits and products you will have in your entire life. No lie. Next up, we got a little StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Ooh.
I need it today on this Monday. I need it today on the Monday.
For sure. Monday.
At a big weekend. Boom, boom. Bing, bing goes the trolley, and bing, bing goes the bell. I don't know what boom, boom would start for. A lot of people said we should start making boom, boom shirts. Boom, boom.
Oh, boom, boom. I thought it was bloop, bloop.
That too.
Whenever
that
you
too,
say boom, boom,
episode.
Someone will always put like, how about
bloop,
bloop?
How about bloop, bloop?
Bloop.
Yeah. Look, kids, strikeforceenergy.com. It comes in a tiny little tin pouch. It looks like and it goes in any single liquid, beers, waters, liquors, anything you can imagine. Kick the can, kids. You don't need the fucking can anymore. This shit's 99 cents a pack. Goes right in. Boom. You're good for the rest of the day. And it tastes good. That's why I'm always drinking it.
I feel like a Red Bull, I looked at the price. It was like $3 something.
They're getting expensive.
And
it's just like, dude,
what?
I can just buy a Strikeforce, and it's like twice as strong. Yeah. Or you can buy the 750 milliliter or the packs. They get a subscription of the month club, which is what we got because I gunned through this shit like an animal. It's my pre-workout too. Big fan. Go to strikeforceenergy.com. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION. You get 20% off. Last but not least, we got At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed. The first ever romance novel for dudes. James, can I get a horse noise this morning? It's actually gotten really good.
Thank you.
It hasn't. It's
just the same level.
I was just blowing smoke up your beehole. At Night She Cries While He Rides the Steed is the funniest book ever written by Ross Master Antonio Orenthal James Patterson. If you want to say I'm related to James, feel free. If you like Blazing Saddles, or you like Range 15 or FDR American Badass or Pool Boy, boom, this takes it to that next level. Go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. All the .coms are available in bookstores everywhere. Also Audible.com. So go and grab yourself a little Stitch to listen to. I don't even know what that means.
What?
Look, I've been thinking about this story all weekend, so I'm excited to get to it because it's again, like we said, it's so shocking and so unbelievable that if this is real, and I can't figure out why this hasn't been more talked about on the news or TV or anything.
Well, I'm sure there's still more stuff coming out. So
there is, but in today's news cycle and world, this would be a top story to me.
I would think.
I found it here's how I came across it. One of my there's a film critic who's one of my buddies, film critic out of Boston. His name is Ken Murray.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey man, did you read this Newsweek article that came out? It was like Friday nights." Friday afternoon, Friday night, somewhere in there. And I was just like, no, about Aaron Hernandez. And he goes, dude, you should read this fucking thing. And it was Newsweek, so it's a reputable source.
Yeah.
It wasn't like beeflink, .com.
Oh, beeflink?
Yeah. It wasn't some like weird, like, oh, this is, 89shan43.org.
Yeah.
This was Newsweek. And then everybody kind of piggybacked off of this Newsweek story over the weekend. But since, whenever late breaking news happens, especially in particular if it's bad, a publicist will always tell you to put this out on a Friday afternoon. Can't put it out on the weekends. You got to put it out on a late Friday is when they usually drop shit like this, including politics.
So that it gets buried.
So it gets buried over the weekend because people are leaving. People are leaving their jobs. They're not in front of their computers.
Right.
They're usually going home to spend time with their families. That's the best time that you could possibly bury a story. When you see celebrity divorces, all of it happens on a Friday afternoon where you're like
really?
Brad and Angelina, where you're like, oh, why did this happen at 6 p.m.?
Because then it almost seems like it didn't happen because you don't have like the week like hammering into you.
Hammering it home.
It's like you hear about it and then it's like, well, it seems like we should be talking about this, right? Maybe it's not.
And the other reason why is most channels, like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, they don't tape on the weekends with live footage. So they usually do reruns, or they'll rerun, stories throughout the week, like Inside Edition or Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
So they're not shooting. So you don't have time to jump on this story. Right. And their Friday episodes are shot in the morning that come out at night. So they can't jump on the story either. They're going to have to wait until next week to really dive into it. And I think this is what happened with this. So as you know, we've talked about Aaron Hernandez, the football player for the Patriots, just got acquitted of double murder. Jose Baez got him off the double murder. Who got off Casey Anthony?
Well, he didn't get off the double murder.
Yes, he got off the double murder, but he was still convicted of the single murder of Odin Lloyd.
Okay, gotcha.
But 5 days later, which we discussed at length, he hung himself in his cell. Jose Baez and the family of Aaron Hernandez were like, there's no way he would kill himself. We want a full investigation of this. There was also something where the family also wanted his brain tested for CTE, which is, brain injury to see if this is what made him kill or the way he was or whatever.
Okay.
So they took his brain. And
How long did he play?
He played. He was one of the youngest to come into the NFL at 20. I want to say he played 4 years, but he played at University of Florida before that, and then high school. Whatever. Was he a bruising player? You bet. Like, he was a beast on the football field.
Okay.
And he was truly great.
Yeah.
And he could have gone down as one of the all-time best, especially with Brady and Belichick, because they run tight end systems. So is it possible? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out. But here's where this story really takes a turn. So I think the prison was pissed off about this accusation that possibly he was murdered or somebody else had something to do with this. And they were like, all right, fine. Here's what really went down. And we're going to release what really went down in the jail. You guys do whatever you want with the fucking info after this. And the family got real quiet after that. So the prison released a statement, and this is, again, according to Newsweek, which is a reputable source, that said when they found him, he had a Bible. Apparently, he was extremely religious, and he had been before, which I looked into this as well, because when he played at University of Florida, Urban Meyer was his coach.
Okay.
Urban Meyer is the coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, which is obviously my favorite team.
We know.
Right. But they said that him and Urban Meyer used to read Bible verses together.
Really?
Yes. And when he was in college at University of Florida.
Okay.
Which is...
I didn't know Urban Meyer got down like that.
I didn't either, and I didn't know if it was for his players. So
Okay.
if a player approached him to do things...
Sure, he would
he's
just
also,
do it.
Yes, because he's that type of coach.
Gotcha.
I don't know how religious he is.
Okay.
So that did predate to this,
Mm-hmm.
because when they found him, there was 3 notes left next to a Bible, with the Bible open to a verse. And I believe it was like either 3:16 or 3:14 or something like that. I don't know the Bible that great. But he also had it written on his head in red ink,
Okay.
on his forehead in red ink. They also found 3 letters. Here's where shit gets wild. One was to his fiance, who's the mother of his child. He's got a 4-year-old daughter. The other one was to the 4-year-old daughter. The third note, and this is where things take a real weird turn, was to his prison boyfriend.
Which you think, all right, did something happen? You feel like you're going to be in there forever. What was the thing? But
this wasn't all. He had apparently, according to his friend Ann Odin Lloyd, the man he killed, he had a high school lover, and was apparently either bisexual or gay, and was trying to cover this up.
Mm-hmm.
After the conviction of Odin Lloyd, which was his first murder,
Mm-hmm.
all of his money that he got from the Patriots and everything else was divided into 3 accounts. One to the fiance,
Mm-hmm.
one to the daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and the third was to his high school lover. The most amount of money out of the 3 went to the high school lover, which was crazy. So now they're saying, look, when we dug into this conviction and we talked to all the witnesses, they said that it wasn't Odin Lloyd saying, hey, I'm going to snitch on you for the double murders is why Aaron Hernandez killed him. It was apparently they were drunk in a nightclub, and he called him a smoocher.
Mm-hmm.
Called Aaron Hernandez a smoocher. He was like, hey, if you keep fucking around, I'm going to tell people you're a smoocher, which is a slang term for a gay guy in the gang world, apparently.
Okay, I've never heard that.
Haven't either. But it was so specific that it was in these documents, and they had actually went back and interviewed his supposedly gay lover from high school, and he was part of the court proceedings, which none of this came out during that first trial, which is shocking to me. And I don't know if it sounded too unbelievable across the board that people were like, bro,
yeah,
who's going to fucking believe this? Especially when you're about to get married. He was about to get married. He's got a daughter. He was about to, his wife was about to be pregnant. And he seems like such, not be pregnant, but give birth. He seems like such a hardcore guy. You're like, there's no fucking way he could be gay. Here's the other turn to this story. The gay lover in prison, according to the report, is on a 24/7 suicide watch with somebody outside the door. My question is, do you get this letter? Do they give him this letter?
I don't think so.
Do they? You know the prison world because you follow all of this shit.
No, I don't.
You, like locked up abroad and all that stuff. Like
yeah, and
you're the prison murder expert. You're not only a producer, but you know the prison murder world really well.
Like I could get away with murdering.
Sure. So do they give them the note? Because that's somebody's last note. Does it actually go to the person or not?
They wouldn't usually, but I guess they would probably read it, go through it.
And maybe tell him?
In this instance. And then when you're in like prison where it's for life and you're going to be in there forever, it starts to turn into like,
I guess.
The guards know you. They know the stories. They know it's you're going to be in there forever,
right, with
everybody. Right. So it's like those jail hardcore high security rules don't necessarily.
Well, he was
still apply to
he
you.
was in
I don't
Gen
think
Pop.
they would give it to him.
He was in Gen Pop, but he was separated.
Right.
Aaron Hernandez. So
because he was
there's
like
so many
a
questions
celebrity,
because
right?
he's a celebrity. Yeah. There's so many questions behind this where if he wasn't really gay, why have a prison lover? Because let's face it, at this point he hadn't been in jail too long. He'd been in jail for maybe 3 years.
Okay.
3 or 4 years at this point. So if you weren't really gay, that's not enough to be like, all right, I'm just gonna switch and I'm good.
Sure. Sure.
Especially when you just got off a double murder.
Yeah.
And Jose Baez said he was gonna go back and then appeal the conviction of the first murder. And it's like, look, if anybody's getting off your murder, it's Jose Baez.
Right. But what's the story with the money going to remember you were saying if they find that he was...
Right. So this is the last twist and turn to this story. The other thing is they found that he had jammed a cardboard into the door, so it would take the prison guards longer to get to him. Once they did find him hanging or whatever, he had put shampoo and soap all over the floor, so he couldn't gain any traction with his feet. So in case he didn't want to go through with it, he was stuck. Mm-hmm. He was going to slip and fall. He couldn't gain any good footing. So he was definitely killing himself.
Right.
Which is crazy, and that's obviously some insider prison shit where you're like, all right, cool. You know shit's going down at that point. Mm-hmm. On our sister show, Drinking Bros, buddy of mine, Rocco, on that show was a prison guard.
Yeah, and, maybe he would be someone to ask.
Well, you know what's funny? Because I asked him, I was like, what's the worst fight you got in prison? He was like, man, these Native American guys were fucking crazy, and they were in there for life. And he goes, when we went in, they had put soap and shampoo all over the floor. So everybody slipped and fell, and they just started beating the shit out of the first two guards that went in. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, so people know this. People know this inside the prison.
Sure.
Now here's where things take the craziest turn of all. Because Aaron Hernandez died under appeal because he was appealing the first murder, the conviction in the state of Massachusetts gets thrown out. So it gets tossed like it never existed. Therefore, his family now is allowed to go back and sue the Patriots. He got a $10 million signing bonus for signing with this last contract with the Patriots. He signed a $40 million deal, got a $10 million signing bonus. His family is allowed to go back and sue because inside the contract, as long as you're not convicted of a crime, they owe you that money. So, was Aaron Hernandez smart enough? Did somebody tell him inside the jail? Was it Baez? Was it his attorney that said, hey, man, we don't want to bring up the negative? Or did he bring up the negative and say, look, if you kill yourself, you can pay for all these lawyer fees. All that money will go to your family, and they'll be set for life. And also, do you really want to be in here for life? because, he didn't, completely get off that double murder. He got a 4 to 5 year conviction for a murder, a gun charge is what it was.
Right.
Because the jury said they couldn't prove that they couldn't prove if they killed him or not. But this gun charge, they were like, he definitely had a gun on him illegally. So we're giving him 4 to 5 years for that. Mm-hmm. Plus, he was serving life for the other thing. Could Jose Baez have got him off the other thing? Maybe. If he does, he's financially ruined anyways. And he's bankrupt. So what does he do? He gets out of jail at that point. No NFL team is going to give him a job. Mm-mm. What is Aaron Hernandez going to do for work after getting out of prison? Let's say Baez was able to get him off of this murder charge. He's still got to serve another 4 to 5 years. On top of that, what does he do after that? At that point, do you just say, fuck it, I'm going to kill myself so my family gets this $10 million?
If that was the case, if it meant that his family would get that money.
Yes.
I think, yeah. I think maybe he does one last thing to be a good guy. I don't know.
I don't know either. Because I don't know what was in those notes.
Not everyone has that opportunity. Like, if you're in jail, it's not like there's nothing you can do that will help your family out.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He is in a unique position that if he does this.
That was the only way his family could ever get money or be taken care of, in particular his wife, daughter, and his gay lover from high school. But
right. Why the gay lover got so much, I have no idea.
So much money? I have no idea.
Seems like some sort of weird cover-up.
This story keeps getting more bizarre, and it's like the fact that like ESPN, like I watch ESPN every goddamn day. The fact that ESPN isn't covering this right now is so strange to me, or anybody else for that matter is really covering. Like if it wasn't for my buddy, I wouldn't have heard about this story. And look, I'm on Facebook and social media and all that shit all the time, and it was like this isn't trending. Nobody's really talks about it at all, and it was if this turns out to be the final thing in the end of why he killed himself, like, fuck. It's kind of genius in a weird roundabout way where you're just like, Jesus, man, all right, if you're going to murder people and try to get away with it and tired of life and whatever, like, that's your only way out. Who was the person that figured out this puzzle of like, hey, man, here's what you really need to do?
Here's what I do know, and I won't tell you how I know this, but I do know that in jail or in prison, all people are doing is like looking at their papers and talking about what they can do to get off and all the different things they need to do and what you need to say to your lawyer and your public defender and all of these things.
Sure.
There's like lawyers in there. It's like the prison lawyer that you go talk to because they...
Is it a real lawyer or somebody who...
Yes.
It is?
Yes, because any kind of person can be convicted of murder or sentenced to long sentences for whatever it may be.
Sure.
So there'll be like someone that has legal experience, whether it's like paralegal or a lawyer or went to law school but didn't pass the bar, whatever it may be. They're in there.
And they're in there working for the prison system or?
No, they're a prisoner.
Oh, gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
So then you go to like
so everybody
their
goes
office
to them.
and they have all of these. And then they also have an added bonus of being like a criminal. So they know that weird world. So if it wasn't Baez, it was somebody in the prison that was like, listen, buddy,
but
this is something you can do.
To figure out the finer points of an NFL contract is another ballgame because there's...
So that's why I think it was probably Baez, but all that other weird little... There's so many other weird little things that he learned from.
So because a lot of people were asking how Aaron Hernandez was able to afford Jose Baez in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Did Baez say, hey, man, I can get you off of this. Trust me, I can get you out of this. But in this Patriots lawsuit we're going to file, you're going to pay my legal fees out of that, and I'll make sure your family's taken care of.
So the lawyer told him to kill himself.
Maybe.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. That is my guess of
or
like,
maybe
hey,
he like loosely knowing Baez.
Presented all of the options and said, hey, man, you're probably not getting out of here for a long time. And if you do, here's what happened to Casey Anthony because I repped her.
Right.
She's living in like people's fucking garages and has no job. No one will hire her. What are you going to do at this point?
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to live that life? Or do you want to you want to do something and help your family out? Because I don't know if I can get you off that first murder charge. Because that first murder charge, they found a lot. They found like bubble gum he had spit out at the guy, a joint that he had flicked at the dead body, and it was just like, it was too much. Where I don't, if Baez is good, but I don't know if he's that goddamn good.
Right.
But I think it wouldn't surprise me if Baez was the mastermind behind this. And this is all what unfolds. Is if this lawsuit comes out, this year against the Patriots, there's my answer. That's what I'm going with on that.
Okay. Well, what did I say when you first told me that he killed himself? I was like, there must be some.
Yes. Your first reaction was there must be something else.
Well, I thought maybe there's some kind of loophole that meant that his family could either stop shelling out money that they were shelling out, or that it would go to his daughter in some way. Because I'm just like, why else would you do it? I don't know.
I find it I find it curious that he put his money into the 3 accounts before the first murder trial that he was about to go on. Because why not hire Baez in the first place? Use that money to hire the best attorney to get you
right.
out of that.
Right.
Because the guy that they had wasn't.
It's almost like public defender.
I don't know who it was. It was a strange.
Yeah. It wasn't anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strange one. Apparently, he was great for the state of Massachusetts, but he wasn't, a world-renowned thing. And it's like, dude, if you're in that high profile of a fucking murder and you're that type of person, like,
get somebody good.
Go for the best. Yeah. So I think he knew that, hey, man, I'm done. And I remember after the conviction, and he came back in to get sentenced, he got a tattoo on his neck that just said life. I mean, he knew.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that just seems
and he got a tattoo of an empty
it seems like there's
gun with an empty chamber on his arm. It said, like, God forgives or something. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we're giving him too much credit. But, I don't know. It seemed like he had a little bit of hope. Do you kill yourself with, like, a little bit of that glimmer?
Yeah, but
does that get you?
That's what got me thinking about it. Where it was like, what's the amount of years that you have to serve that you would kill yourself? Because life to me isn't happening. That's not going to fucking happen. I'm offing myself if I get convicted of life for something.
Right.
There's no way.
With no chance of parole.
Yeah, and I started thinking to myself, like,
right.
all right, what is the year count? I think my over-under year count for me to kill myself, I think it's 7 years.
Oh, God, that's nothing.
7 years. I think it's over 7. I don't know how you could deal with it. Because I'm always in my head about shit anyways, and it's like, I think 7 is my over-under, where it's like, dude, if it's over 7, you can forget about it. 10, fuck. No.
Really?
Yeah. It's too much. This late in life, like, when you get older, like, there's no, what are you fucking living for then after that? Like, we have a child and all that stuff, but by then he would be in high school or college, and it's just like, oh, hey, your old man, just get out of the clink. It's time for father-son weekend
right.
at the old Kappa Sigma fraternity. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Hey, my dad's getting out of jail. Like, it's a strange thing, because if you're in there for that long, chances are you did something fucked up.
Right. So then you have to live with that.
You have to live with that on top of that, and you have to tell your family, and it's like, what, you want your wife and kid to come visit you for 10 years in a prison? That's a stretch, man.
So you'd be almost doing it for us.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, right. I don't want to.
I think it always is, really.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't want to put them through that.
Right.
I don't want to put them through that the rest of their lives.
You don't want to be a burden.
And I think I would be blunt about it. I think I would be very honest about it and say, hey, I did some fucked up shit, and I don't want to be in here, and I don't want you guys to think about this. Like, take the insurance policy and just live your life.
Does that work? Does it work?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because
they never talk about it with you on the phone. Like, hey, if you kill yourself, you don't get this insurance policy. I don't know. I heard it doesn't, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I watch enough murder to know.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah,
you're our murder expert on the show.
Yes, when they're trying to get like, let's say, a wife's life insurance policy, and they're like slowly poisoning them. Yeah, no, I don't think you can have suicide. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can.
Yeah, so it has to be.
I'd have somebody kill me then. I'd pay somebody to kill me in jail. I'd be like, hey, why don't you fucking kill me?
Right.
And then you guys could get the policy.
Yeah.
But what's your over under? Is there a, or would you?
Have to be pretty high.
Would you life it out?
I have like. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever even kill myself.
Really?
Really. Like there's
Gotcha.
something so crazy about that to me.
So
like,
you would
mind,
go hard. What if you got 30 years? Would you do 30 years?
Probably not. I think 20.
20 is that's a big number.
Yeah, because you could still, I don't know, you'd be alive.
You would.
You know, it depends. And I'm a people person, you know. So in the jail I would
Yeah.
I'd be the top dog.
Yeah.
I'd make some friends.
Sure.
I'd write. Maybe I'd like go to school.
20 years.
You know, knit.
Yeah.
Learn all kinds of weird skills.
Sure. So 20, you say you could do 20.
I think I could do 20.
Wow.
I think I could do it. Just because the idea of killing, like when you tell me that he put soap and stuff on the floor.
Yeah, you cringed at that for some reason.
There's something so crazy about that to me. Like knowing that that's going to happen and like knowing
when you do that, you know.
Need, knowing that you need to do that because in your mind you might be like, I don't want to do this.
Exactly. And that's why they do it, by the way.
I know, but it's just like there's so because you want to be able to take it back if you want to.
Yeah, because one, they don't have, it's not like they have beams for you to hang yourself on. So you got to do it. He hung himself off the prison window, which isn't that high. So you got to put
it's like an instinct.
Something on the floor.
It's a human instinct to be like, no, don't kill yourself. Even I told you when you slice your own throat, your muscles literally won't let you do it. So that's why it goes jagged. So your body is like, no, don't do this.
Sure.
And so you literally need to trick your body and your brain into like not being able to take it back. And that's fucking crazy to me.
Fuck, man.
So all of that, I can't.
Going by knife would be tough. Like hanging yourself would be like, hanging yourself, pills.
Pills is something, right? That it's like you're in your sleep. There's another way of tricking yourself. You're in your sleep. You can't take it back.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Or
those are the ways I would go. Or you'd have to pay somebody. But 7 years, I think, is my.
That's a very short amount of time.
Over under. It's just the mental game for me.
But that doesn't give you any hope. I think when there's hopeless, right? When it's hopeless,
sure.
There's no chance of anything ever. This is, you see the future all the way to the end. And you say, I don't want to do that.
I just think the days would be too long. Mentally. Yeah. And plus, like, whoever you got paired up with in there, like, that could be a whole nother fucking thing. Like,
right.
Then you got to hear their stories. So.
What if it was sweet? Like, even Aaron Hernandez, like, he had a lover in there. Like, what more do you want out of life? You have a fucking boyfriend? Like. You have love?
Yeah, but your family doesn't have any money. You don't have anything like,
right.
No.
All right.
I don't know. You have love.
I'm too selfish to kill myself.
You have love, but the final to put a button on this. Yeah. To put a button on this whole story is the fact that if all of this was done because essentially he was gay in the end, and this guy called him a smoocher, and that's what started this.
That's very hard for
chain
me to
of
believe
shit.
As well. But it's a web of lies, right? So when you start out, so in high school, he was lying, and you lie about this, and you lie about this, and you cover this up, and then you end up doing these crazy things to cover up all your lies.
Right.
That's when shit gets bad. It's like, just come out. And this day and age, come out. You're fine.
Look, this was 4 or 5 years ago. The first gay NFL player still hadn't happened.
Sure. I hear you.
But he was playing with Tom Brady, and it's like, shit. That's a pretty couple right there if they would have gotten together.
I mean, I can't stress enough how he was cute, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. He's
good looking.
He was a good looking dude.
Yeah.
He's a good looking dude. So I don't know. We'll find out as the weeks unfold. But
I'll be interested.
being gay, certainly as a thug or wannabe thug, which is what he was essentially. because he grew up in Connecticut with a good family and all that stuff. It's not like he was from the crazy streets or anything.
He way overcompensated.
Yeah, but it's look
to be hardcore.
It is tough as a when you're in something as manly as football to come out and say that you're gay. It's tough. Same with the fraternity. It's tough as well. And in my experience of it, most people hide that shit. Mm-hmm. Like some of the guys I was in a fraternity who ended up being gay didn't come out until well after, just because simply they didn't want to be isolated or picked on or what they potentially thought was, even though sometimes that's not the case. I can remember vividly going to a party with my buddies. We were going down to some huge party, and a friend of ours was stopping off to get like weed or something, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to this guy." There was this gay guy. I don't think he's alive anymore. So I'm just gonna say his name. It was Johnny on the Spot. And he was
Is
like,
that outing him? That was his God-given name.
No, I don't. Yeah, On the Spot was his last name. It's Ondaspot. But
yeah, is it German?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it was Dutch. Anyways, some people were getting weed or whatever. And we went to drive over to the house, and he was like, you want to run in real quick? And I was like, yeah. It was a very flamboyant gay guy. It was pretty crazy. Yeah. And fun guy. We walk in, full on gay party going on, about 100 people, shirtless, 100 gay dudes shirtless, dancing.
Sounds awesome.
And it was Whitney Houston's song, "It's Not Right, But It's Okay," like the techno remix of that. Yeah, I mean they were raging, and it was like, shit, good for them. It was Friday night. It was raging.
Probably more fun than the fraternity party.
Yeah. So yeah. Who knows? Maybe it was.
Listen.
Around the corner, so the guy was like, "Oh, hey guys, would you like a toots? Would you like some cocaine?" It was just like, no, I'm good. And he's like, "Oh no, there's plenty. So around the corner comes one of my fraternity brothers, holding a gigantic Starship Enterprise, a full-on replica model of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. With lines of cocaine on it. He's shirtless, sweating. He was dancing.
Oh, loving it.
And all of a sudden, he turns into us, and it was like, oh. Shit. His face went white as a ghost. It was crazy. And he was like, oh my God. And he was like, "Oh, do you guys know each other?" And we're like, "Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, we know each other." And it was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And it was like, "But we're good on the blow, but
sure.
Peace." Like deuces. Everybody was like, or whatever. We got back on the car. And we're like, "Holy shit!" So, he's gay, whatever. But luckily, the 5 or 6 of us who were all close friends, on the way to this party, we had a discussion about it. We were like, man, because it was, I would say 125 people in our house at that point. And we also knew some dudes weren't fucking cool with that. And they were fucking, nah, man, we're not fucking gay, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And so we made a pact in the car on the way to the party that we were like, hey, let's not out him. Yeah. If he wants to come out, let him come out on his own. But we're not going to be the ones to do it and potentially ruin this guy's life. Because we'd heard about some suicides before for guys who got caught being gay or whatever. Not at our university, but at some other universities. And you were like, man, we had a serious conversation and took it as a serious matter.
I like that.
For that reason of, we didn't want to push this kid over the edge. We realized we were all in college. And we also, we didn't give a shit if anybody was gay. We just didn't care either. So it was cares? Exactly.
And more and more, who cares?
Exactly. and we didn't care, but we wanted it to be his choice, not ours. So
it was very evolved of you guys.
It was. And so,
it was.
But no, because literally looking back on it now, giving that much thought, I think we were maybe 21. You don't give a shit about anything at 21, especially when you're in college. You're like, fuck it. You can say whatever you want to people and do whatever you want. It was a very thoughtful conversation amongst me and my friends. We never said anything. And then when we ran into him the following day at the fraternity, he was like, hey guys, what's going on? Kind of fishing of are you cool? Are you cool? And we were like, hey, we're cool. We're not going to say anything. So live your life. Yeah. So after college ended. Took a couple years to find himself, figure it out.
Sure.
Came out to the world on Facebook, came out as gay, and he did it his way.
Right.
We're still friends. All of us are still friends with him. Nothing of that has ever changed, and I think he was always grateful for that we didn't out him or do that type of thing. Because again, in a manly situation like a fraternity, like yeah, there's chicks and we're gonna get pussy and things like. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm the one gay guy at the fraternity parties every single week.
Now he would have been the best wingman for you ever.
Totally.
Getting all the chicks on the fucking.
Totally. I think we always hung out with him after that.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool. But yeah, you're right. Best wingman ever. It was like, definitely not going to take my girlfriend.
Let's get a couple gay guys.
Yeah.
To the club.
But, thinking back to this case and everything went on with the Aaron Hernandez case, like, again, it's one of those things when you're in something, that's perceived as machismo, if you will. That's a tough sitch to come out in.
Yeah.
Tough sitch to come out in. But it's that point in the week where we get to the revolutionary figure of the day. And I'm saying day instead of week now because we're going 3 shows now at home. We've been going 3 shows. We've been going 2 video. Usually Monday, either Monday or Wednesday and Thursday, and then 1 audio.
One like we're drinking wine and we're like, let's go do a bonus.
Super late at night.
So we've been doing bonuses pretty much every week.
There's been an audio show as well on Wednesday. So it's usually Monday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night.
And people seem to dig the bonus one almost
Bonus
more.
one's super weird.
They're like, we don't know what they're gonna say.
Because Jabes lets her guard down.
Listen,
she fills up a goblet full of wine and gets after it. Yeah.
And I get after it. And I don't care.
You've got a charcuterie, usually up in the studio.
Sure. A couple of meats, choice meats and cheeses.
Some crackers, a few scattered olives, and a goblet full of wine.
And then some kind of
good old Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Game of Thrones wine.
No, I don't do Game of Thrones.
And some kind of gelatinous thing like
gelatinous
Swedish fish.
Yeah, or like
Swedish
a gummy
fish
bear.
Is your jam, or somebody even sent into the P.O. box some Swedish fish for you.
What?
Yeah, which was a nice thing.
Aww.
People look out for the Jablers.
I know.
The revolutionary figure of the day is actually Gene Roddenberry. When I was thinking about this, you know who Gene Roddenberry is? He's an American science fiction creator, media franchise. He also created Star Trek. Is what he did.
He created Star Trek.
He did. Created Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry.
Okay.
The creator of Star Trek and the Starship Enterprise. Still probably not a better vessel to do cocaine off of ever than the Star.
Design.
This Star Trek Enterprise was like super detailed. Where you were just like, man.
And you could probably get the lines like in some of the grooves.
Well, you could hold it, and you could hold it, and it was like big enough for the whole party to enjoy. And you're like,
awesome.
shit. What a better way to serve your guests cocaine if that's what you're into.
Right.
Than a big fat Starship Enterprise. It's a way to go, Gene Roddenberry.
You did it.
Yeah. Not only did was my last movie, I got to work with William Shatner, but just know, if you're still alive, don't know that he is, just know that people are still enjoying your series around the world and people are partying to it and doing cocaine off of it. So congratulations, Gene. Thanks for tuning in, kids. For Jesse Wiseman, a.k.a. Jables, I am Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Go to RossPattersonRevolution.com and get yourself some sweet teas. We got some tri-blends up on the site. And if you want to send anything fun into the show, go to the P.O. Box. P.O. Box 3793, Wilmington, North Carolina, 28406. We love you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.